Hello there, Brick Fanatics. Right, 2024 is almost upon us, and with it comes the 25th anniversary of the LEGO Star Wars theme. For the 20th anniversary of the theme, we got a wide variety of nostalgic LEGO sets and minifigures, so the internet is naturally awash with speculation and rumours trying to figure out what could possibly be coming within the next 12 months. Now, when it comes to LEGO Star Wars speculating, there is one very important thing to remember. Speculation is a lot of fun, so let's do some. Here's how this is going to work. We're going to run through a variety of predictions about what may be coming in the next 12 months for LEGO Star Wars. Some of these are heavily rumoured and are more likely. Some of these are wishful thinking, are dream choices, things that we would pick if we could have absolutely anything. And as such, we'll score these accordingly out of 10. How likely are they to actually happen? If you have any of your own suggestions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. And make sure that you give this video a thumbs up at this point, just in case you don't stick around to the end of the video, just because it really helps to support the channel. Thank you very much. Anyway, number one on our list, LEGO minifigure Force Ghosts. Minifigure Force Ghosts have been one of those things that LEGO fans have been wanting for absolutely ages, for eons. And it's something that the LEGO Group has never quite been able to deliver on. There have been several reasons for that, but the main one is that minifigures, according to LEGO designers, are not made of the right plastics to work as transparent pieces. So the plastic that goes into these things has to be of a different type to the rest of LEGO bricks or LEGO elements because they need to be able to sustain a lot more hard wear and tear. And one of the things specifically that one of the designers has pointed out is, for example, if you have a minifigure that is mostly transparent but then has opaque hands, opaque hips, then it just doesn't look quite right. So it's not really possible for an entire minifigure to be made of transparent plastic material. There's also the issue around the joints, around the kind of the webbing that is inside, for example, the torso of a minifigure, where it holds in the arms, where it gives it that grip when it's connecting down to the feet underneath. And these things are going to shine through a lot more clearly and a lot more easily to see if a piece is made of transparent plastic. And these apparently are the reasons that we've been given by the LEGO Group for why we've not had a Force Ghost minifigure up until this point. That said, it is absolutely something that fans want and that the LEGO Group knows that fans want. And so, in a perfect world, in an absolute dream scenario, this would be one of our absolute number one picks for the 25th anniversary of the LEGO Star Wars range. Is it going to happen? Almost certainly not, for the reasons previously mentioned. It's a very difficult thing to work out with the plastic that the LEGO Group uses. So for that reason, we are scoring this particular prediction 1 out of 10. Don't get your hopes up. Right then, how about something that's a little bit more likely to balance that out? Mid-sized Star Wars starships. We've had, in the previous year, the delightful miniature Executor, which is a lovely mid-sized ship. It fits very nicely on a desk, it doesn't take up a huge amount of space, and crucially, it's not too dear on the wallet. It's important for a lot of these LEGO sets, especially under the current climate, that they come in at an affordable price so that people are actually able to pick them up without feeling like they've needed to take out a second mortgage. Some UCS ships just don't fit that description because they're literally just too big, too large, too expensive to be a comfortable purchase for a lot of people at a time when money is particularly tight. And for that reason, it has been heavily rumoured from various sources that we may well be getting more mid-sized ships. Two names that are coming up in particular are the Millennium Falcon and the Tantive 4, which are... It's not a certainty that we'll be getting these ships in the next 12 months, but it does seem certainly like there's a good chance that they'll end up cropping up. And if you were to get a mid-sized starship that is designed for display purposes, the Millennium Falcon is obviously a perfect choice because it never goes out of style. It is the Star Wars ship, with the possible exception of the X-Wing. It's the one that everybody is going to recognise, the one that everybody is going to want. The Tantive 4 is a little bit less famous than the Millennium Falcon, but it is also one of the more recognisable LEGO Star Wars ships that we've had in various different forms from various different sets over the years, and so it would absolutely make sense to bring one back at a similar kind of size to the Executor, although obviously the two ships would not be to scale with each other, but working very nicely as a pair to sit on a desk. There could potentially be the possibility for other mid-sized ships, but we'll worry about that a little later in the video. For now, the possibility of mid-sized starships at some point in 2024, that's pretty high. We're going to give that 8.5 out of 10. Make it 9, why not? I feel generous. Right, pivoting all the way back to the other side of the scale, how about a new grey? Right, so at the moment when designing Lego sets, the Lego group has access to, alright, let's be generous, 4 shades of grayscale that can be used for Lego Star Wars ships. You've got on the one side of the scale, you've got black, on the other side of the scale, you've got white, and then you've got a light grey, and you've got a dark grey. And these 4 shades have to make up every single Lego Star Wars starship, which is tricky because an awful lot of Star Wars starships are some shade of grey, and they don't necessarily always match up with these. And even if they do, just trying to make these ships work with this limited palette means that a lot of them end up looking very similar. We all know the trope, we've all laughed about it, but yes, Lego Star Wars is very, very grey, and that does get a little bit repetitive. It would be nice to have an additional shade in there, especially if you look at, for example, say, the Rebel starfighters, the Y-Wings and the X-Wings from A New Hope in particular. They're not quite white, but they're not quite grey, and there's a space in the middle there for a different shade that would help them to look a little bit more battle-worn and a little bit less shiny and new, to kind of look like the ragtag starfighter collection that's kind of held together with duct tape and hope, but then doesn't make them look so grey that they look completely off model. We could do with another something in the middle there, just to make it feel a little bit more accurate to how the starships look in the film. How likely are we to get a brand new colour of Lego brick? Fairly unlikely. This is going to be another 1 out of 10. It would be really, really nice. It would be absolutely delightful. It's probably not going to happen. Right then, back to the other side of the spectrum. A very likely prediction. We will probably get some more Star Wars prequel Lego sets at some point in 2024. Next year is not just the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, but also the 25th anniversary of Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, ignore that last colon. It's taken us a while to get here, but the LEGO group seems to have finally realised that, yeah, actually, kids who grew up watching the prequels are themselves now adults and have disposable income as well, and so would also like some nostalgic LEGO sets aimed at them. Over the last little while, we've had a delightful selection of these nostalgic prequel sets, ranging in size from the relatively small all the way up to the giant UCS, and we've even been getting sets based on the Clone Wars specifically, as opposed to just the live-action Star Wars prequel films. As we go into 2024, it is an excellent opportunity to explore the Phantom Menace in LEGO form in a way that we haven't really seen since that first wave of sets all the way back in 1999. And indeed, there are certain rumours which suggest that that's exactly what we're getting. One thing that has been heavily rumoured is a Boonta Eve pod race diorama, and this would be an excellent use of the diorama format to pay tribute to one of the coolest scenes in Episode 1. Considering these rumours, it is well worth assuming that, yeah, probably some form of this is going to come in the near future, so we might as well say 9 out of 10 for the possibility of a Boonta Eve pod race diorama. What would also be nice, and this is not as heavily rumoured, this is something that just would be nice to have, is if we are going the Episode 1 diorama route, do you know what, a Duel of the Fates one with Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, that would be an absolutely brilliant diorama. Can you imagine them on like different platforms, or with the laser things, or you could have it displayed so that Darth Maul is cut in half and Qui-Gon's, lying on the floor dying and saying, "He is the chosen one." That would be an absolutely amazing diorama. That's not as rumoured. That's not something that anyone has said is coming, but if we are doing LEGO Star Wars Episode 1 dioramas, yes please, that'd be great. Why don't we give that one, 5 out of 10, because it's not something that anyone has suggested is coming, but it would be really, really neat, and surely someone else at the LEGO group must know that. Right, should we do one that's probably not going to happen again? Dream thinking, a new battle droid design, or at least a slight tweak or a redesign. The battle droid is an absolute wonderful staple of the LEGO Star Wars theme, and it's been around for 25 years now, and it's not changed an awful lot in that time. Like, there's something to be said for, they nailed it the first time, and they just stuck with that, and it's always worked pretty well. And sometimes you get different printing and different colour schemes on these battle droids, but otherwise they're basically untouched. They do have a few little flaws that could be kind of just fixed. You could fix just a little bit of them. Number one, they don't have opposable legs. Their legs are just one thing. They got to hop around like a mini doll in the Lego Movie 2. They just could do with a little bit more movement. It would help add so much more to the Battle Droid minifigure experience. I mean, there have been little tweaks already. They've already had the arms kind of rotated, the joint, so that they can hold their blasters upright rather than it being kind of stuck on the side. So it's not outside of the realm of possible that we could have a slight tweak to the design or a complete overhaul and a new thing entirely. I mean, stormtroopers have been entirely redesigned multiple times, so have Darth Vader's helmet, for example, Chewbacca. Other common characters tend to get, a regular glow up or an adjustment. The battle droid could do with just something, even if it is just these new legs. That said, it's not probably the highest thing on the LEGO Group's priority list because what they've got works so well and has clearly proven to stand the test of time. So we'll give this a 2 out of 10. It's a maybe, but it's an outside maybe because it's very unlikely that any time or effort would be spent on this when there are other things that could be fixed instead. Right, let's talk UCS sets. These big Ultimate Collector Series sets are some of the most interesting and unique things on the LEGO Star Wars calendar, and most years we get 2 of them. A smaller one at May the 4th, and then a larger one in the gear up to Christmas. It's heavily rumoured that for the May the 4th one this year, we will be getting a TIE Interceptor. And that would be quite nice. Ties in with The Mandalorian, Season 3, which came out this year, and would be an excellent addition to the collection. We just had an X-Wing for May the 4th this year, so a TIE Interceptor, they pair nicely together. It works very well as an idea. Again, just a rumour, but a heavily rumoured rumour, like a one that comes from fairly legitimate and consistently correct source, so we can take this one with a small pinch of salt, but we don't have to take like the big heaping of salt that some rumours require. Let's give that one a 7 out of 10. It's fairly likely to happen. It's not absolutely certain. You never know with these kinds of things, but it won't be a surprise if we do get a TIE Interceptor at UCS scale next year. Now, as for that second UCS set that comes towards the end of the year, rather than worry about the specifics of what is probably going to come or not come depending, let's just think about what would be really, really neat. Wouldn't it be amazing to get like a giant big scale Trade Federation MTT, filled up with battle droids that all kind of slide down off of those rails and then go out in waves to slaughter Gungans? Wouldn't that just be absolutely amazing? This isn't even speculation at this point, it's just wishful thinking, but it's something that would be absolutely delightful. We'll give it a 3 out of 10 because it's probably not going to happen, but oh, wouldn't it be nice? Something else Episode 1 related that would be absolutely brilliant, mid-sized Episode 1 sets. So yes, the rumours are that we're going to be getting a Millennium Falcon and a Tantive 4, but both of those are from the the original trilogy. How about some prequel trilogy sets at this scale as well? How about an N1 Starfighter, but like a little one that just sits on the desk like a nice display piece? How about the J-type Nubian Royal Starfighter? Very nice Nubian, yes. That would be just amazing. Imagine just like a shiny, sleek, fairly small and compact, but absolutely gorgeous, shiny starship to put on your desk. It would be brilliant. How about a podracer? How about Anakin's podracer, but just like in little form? So like probably about the same size as a playset, but designed more for display instead. So a mid-sized Episode 1 starship or other similar build? 6 out of 10. It's not beyond the realms of the possible. Could well happen. It just really depends on what the LEGO Group feels like giving us. Now then, something that's almost certainly not going to happen. Imagine a Jar Jar Binks build at this scale. I'm going to get my mileage out of this thing. Absolutely going to get my mileage out of him. Right then, so for the 20th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, we got a selection of slightly smaller versions of previous sets that had been released in the past. So kind of a greatest hits lineup of sets from LEGO Star Wars' past. Anakin's Podracer was one of them. We also had Boba Fett's Slave One, or whatever we're calling it now, Boba Fett's Starship. We had Snowspeeder. These sets were kind of versions of things that we'd had in the past, but with that wonderful 20th anniversary branding on, and with additional minifigures, which we will talk about in a minute. These are really neat sets, and it would make sense for LEGO Star Wars to do that again. There's already rumours that we're getting battle packs for clones and battle droids, and these very well fit into this category, but there are other certain sets that could come up. It would be nice to have a few more of the Episode 1 sets kind of reimagined again. Yes, we've already had Anakin's podracer, but we could have, for example, another podracer, or we could have the Gungan Bongo, which is one of the first LEGO Star Wars sets ever to be released in that second wave of Episode 1 sets, and it's just brilliant, and it's not been in LEGO form in like 10 years now, so maybe it's time to bring that one back. That would be really, really cool. Also, we could get, of course, the classic N1 Starfighter, as previously mentioned. There are a lot of different options for revisiting classic LEGO Star Wars sets, and in particular Episode 1 sets, so that we get a nice little nostalgia hit, but we also have something that's going to be accessible for LEGO fans of any age, because these sets, if looking at the ones from 5 years ago, these were accessible for everyone. They could work as either display pieces or as play toys, but they were generally aimed at kind of a younger audience, and it'd be nice to have some of those again. Let's give this a nice middle of the road 5 out of 10. Yeah, could potentially happen. Now, also, those 20th anniversary sets came with nostalgic throwback minifigures that were designed to look identical to the original minifigures from way back in the day last century. The question is, are we going to get more of these? And the answer is hopefully yes, because it would be something that LEGO collectors would enjoy. Now, apologies for banging on and on and on about Episode 1, but for the 20th anniversary, these minifigures were all from the original trilogy, so if we're going back right to the start of LEGO Star Wars, it would make sense, if we're going to get more nostalgic minifigures, to have these based on the characters from Episode 1. So an OG Anakin, an OG Qui-Gon Jinn, and an Obi-Wan, and a Darth Maul. These would be excellent for collectors and work as playthings, and they would be a tremendous continuation of a celebration of LEGO Star Wars' history. Let's give this 4 out of 10, because why not? Now, of those original Phantom Menace minifigures, there is one that deserves special attention. Padme. This was the very first LEGO Star Wars female minifigure. We had never had a Princess Leia at this point. Padme was the first one, and it would be nice to get a new Padme. I've made my thoughts on the most recent Padme very clear already, but there's something else that we could have here. Why not another Queen Amidala minifigure in her full regalia, with the headpiece, with the dress, just the whole thing? This is one of those minifigures that is tremendously difficult to get hold of nowadays, because it's only ever been released once and it disappeared very quickly, and that was 10 years ago now. It's time for another proper Queen Amidala minifigure. This is a gaping hole in most LEGO Star Wars fans' collections. It's just something that we need. We need an updated, or even just the same, minifigure that is Queen Amidala, that looks this neat, this detailed, this splendid, this magnificent. Amidala is arguably the main character of Episode 1, don't at me. She deserves better LEGO Star Wars treatment. With the LEGO Group's recent push for more diversity among its minifigures, it would make sense to give us one of the most important LEGO Star Wars characters the full and proper regal treatment, but at the same time, this is probably not high on most people's priority list, so 3 out of 10. Some of us would really like it. Right then, something that's fairly likely now? Clones. Lots more clones. You can never get enough clones. That's kind of the point of clones. Somewhat acquiescing to the needs of the LEGO Star Wars community, the LEGO Group has been giving us a good, steady, solid supply of clone troopers with different colours and markings to signify different battalions and regiments within the Grand Clone Army of the Republic/Empire. So all the way back in 2007, we got some 327th Star Corps alongside some Red Coruscant Guard and some plain white clone troopers, and there are rumours to suggest that some of these will be making a comeback in a battle pack in 2024. These are of course just rumours, and so it's not set in stone, but this would be a likely candidate for a reintroduction of something that we've already had in the past, but a long time ago. Again, calling back to the nostalgic origins or history of the LEGO Star Wars range. There are others we could get as well, the 41st, the 104th, there are plenty of different options. It would be nice to get some more of these. It's fairly likely that we will do, because the LEGO Group is pretty good at providing for our needs. It's just a matter of which particular different colours and markings will we be getting. We'll give the possibility of new clone troopers a 7 out of 10. Yeah, it's something you can hold your breath for, because it's probably going to happen eventually. Connected to clone troopers, how about named clones? Now, there are some that would be wonderful to have but are fairly unlikely, like Jesse or Fives, etc. But what is more likely is someone like Commander Wolf, who appeared alongside a lot of the other clone troopers that we've had in minifigure form recently, such as Rex, in the Lego Star Wars Castaways game. There's precedent for him being a minifigure in some form. He's got a design, and with the other clone commanders or named clones that appear in that game, we've had a fairly one-to-one translation into a physical form at some point in the recent past. So it would make sense, with Wolf being the last of this lot, not to have been given the proper minifigure treatment, for him to be given that and to finally be available physically. Assuming that things continue as they have done in the recent past, this seems fairly likely. We'll give this an 8 out of 10. Clone Commander Wolf, here's hoping you'll be a Lego minifigure soon. Now, moving to a little bit more wild speculation, helmets are apparently done. The rumour is that the Helmets miniseries, which has had characters like Darth Vader and Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, and most recently Clone Commander Cody and Captain Rex, these are apparently now finished, and we're going to be getting something different entirely. The logical next step or replacement for this kind of size and budget is the mid-sized ships, which it's already, as we've said, heavily speculated that we'll be getting some of these in the near future. But there are other potential options, and it would be quite nice if instead of this we had something else like, say, a weapons collection. Now, not all weapons, obviously. Lego and guns still don't sit very well together. There's still a bit of friction, so it's unlikely that we'd get, for example, Han's blaster made out of Lego that you can sit on your desk. But what about lightsabers, where there's a little bit more wiggle room? And indeed, we've had some lightsaber builds in the past. A one-to-one, like Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber would hit that perfect sweet spot between being a wonderful display piece and still being playable, because even for older Lego Star Wars fans, we still kind of like to play with these things sometimes. It's not the most likely thing in the world, because what is more likely is that we'll probably just get more mid-sized ships at the kind of helmet size price point, but it would be a wonderful thing for the Lego group to try out. And so having seen some of these in the past as gift with purchases, etc., it's worth crossing fingers for. 3 out of 10, maybe. Now, if you don't want Ahsoka spoilers, tough, I'm going to give you some anyway. Ahsoka, latest episode, Grand Admiral Thrawn's Chimera, but like cool. Like, it used to be a Star Destroyer with some nice different markings on it, but now it's a proper Chimera. Like, it fits that name quite well because it's got that delightful melding of different colours on it. Now, as mentioned right back at the start of this video, if you can remember all the way back, Lego Star Wars has a problem with being a bit too grey. So a Grand Admiral Thrawn Star Destroyer with that absolutely brilliant kind of golden look to it, where it's been patched together. This would be spectacular. And given that we've not had a Grand Admiral Thrawn minifigure with the latest wave of Ahsoka-based sets, and the fact that he is one of those characters that LEGO Star Wars fans simply cannot get enough of, even though he's very sparsely used, this would be an excellent opportunity to bring him back. We could also get, and this is really wishful thinking, but wouldn't it be amazing to have a minifigure with that face, that stormtrooper face, the new face, the golden face, the freaky, like, Grecian statue face, the one that stares into your soul. Oh, that needs to be a minifigure. So it's not impossible that we get a like a £150, $150-ish kind of Chimera Star Destroyer build. Seriously, if we don't get anything else from Ahsoka, please can it be the Chimera, because it's just so brilliant, and I cannot pay what I need to pay to get a Thrawn minifigure on the aftermarket. It's just not going to happen. So please, Lego, give us this one. Let's go 7 out of 10. It's an obvious choice. It's perhaps too obvious. Either way, it's going to be spectacularly disappointing if it doesn't happen, because it would be wonderful. Finally, it's a fairly sure bet that on May the 4th, 2024, we will get a new LEGO Star Wars gift with purchase. The only real question is, what's it gonna be? In 2023, for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, we got something Return of the Jedi related. So it makes logical sense for the 25th anniversary of Episode 1 to have an Episode 1 themed gift with purchase. Basically, anything that's been mentioned episode 1 related in the rest of the video has the chance of being this gift with purchase. We could have like an N1 Starfighter, we could have an MTT transport, we could have just anything. It could be anything. It could be a little battle droid build. Here's a really bad idea for what it could be. Right, so if you were alive and cognizant for episode 1, you will probably remember some of the wide range of merch that came out for episode 1. There is no shortage of these products, and they're still just kicking around on eBay because it turns out that toy manufacturers made way too much stuff. But there's one thing that's ended up becoming somewhat meme-worthy, which would be amazing to have in Lego form. That's right, I'm talking about Jar Jar Binks' tongue. This thing. Isn't it awful? I love it. Would it not be fantastic to have some version of this as a Lego build for the gift with purchase set for May the 4th, 2024? It's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen. But, oh, it would be amazing. At the same time, the LEGO Group does prefer to use the original trilogy for these May the 4th sets, just probably because of the widest, broadest possible appeal, so maybe it won't be an episode 1 build after all. It's definitely not going to be Jar Jar's tongue, as wonderful as that would be. We'll give this a 5 out of 10. Maybe we will get an episode 1 gift with purchase, but maybe not. That then is our list of speculative suggestions for what we may well be getting, or almost certainly not getting, in 2024 for LEGO Star Wars. Which ones do you think will be coming? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure that you use our QR code or our affiliate link, which is in the description, if you're going to make a LEGO.com purchase, because doing so helps to support the work that Brick Fanatics does. Make sure you do the YouTube things, give this video a like and subscribe, and share it with other people that may be interested. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you are the first to know whenever we release a new video, and make sure that you go to brickfanatics.com for all of your LEGO news, and make sure that you sign up to our newsletter so that you never miss anything LEGO related ever again. Thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day.